Does Rhodiola Rosea even have side effects? I personally don't feel them, and I've been using Rhodiola Rosea for 10 years now. I have the capsule form as well as the powder. That's how much I enjoy this supplement, and I've previously rated it 10 out of 10 in different videos. But I'm going to share with you some of the side effects that others have experienced that maybe you should consider being aware of if you are to use this herbal supplement. Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal. I review nootropics, so make sure to click subscribe so you can see more videos just like this one. I've got a whole library of them on my YouTube page. And Rhodiola Rosea, in my opinion, is the best herbal nootropic supplement by far. Some of the other popular herbal supplements include ashwagandha. People use that for anxiety and stress, and people use bacopa mineri as well for helping them with their memory levels and also stress. When it comes to the broad spectrum of stress, it's important that you understand, like, most of these nootropics out there will have demotivating effects. As for this Reddit post, somebody mentioned nootropics that can cause anhedonia and listed bacopa, ashwagandha, lemon's balm, and more, and many others contributed to this Reddit post. And that's what's so different about Rhodiola Rosea. It's that it's extremely strong at fighting stress, fighting off fatigue, while not demotivating you. If anything, motivating you because you're clear-minded and you're able to go ahead and accomplish your tasks. And while with some supplements you have to take them every single day for a couple of weeks for you to notice the benefits, with Rhodiola Rosea, in most cases, it should hit you instantly. When I personally use Rhodiola Rosea at a serving size of 300 to 500 milligrams, I feel immediately clear-minded. I feel physically stimulated. I feel mentally stimulated. This is the closest supplement that I have found which makes you feel like you've taken a nap. So I refer to Rhodiola Rosea as a nap in a pill. That's exactly what it does. You'll also notice that when you take a nap, often it will blunt your appetite to some extent. And that's where Rhodiola Rosea is especially effective. When it comes to fatigue, when it comes to clear-mindedness, when it comes to giving you that energy for you to go ahead and accomplish your tasks. And in this study, they took 80 mildly anxious people that used Rhodiola Rosea every single day and saw improvements with self-reported anxiety, stress, anger, and confusion. And I won't talk too much about the benefits during this video. I've talked about them more in this video over here, because in this video we're going to talk about the many side effects and what you can actually do to remove those side effects or lessen the effectiveness of them. This anecdote, one individual mentioned that they noticed they're very agitated, emotional, and they've even thrown their bottle away because of how it made them feel. And that's due to the first side effect and probably the most common side effect that you'll experience with Rhodiola Rosea, and that would be it does bring about some anxiety. Now, this is a very light anxiety. It is nowhere close to the anxiety that you'll experience with caffeine. And also we have to take into consideration that anxiety is very vague. There are different types of anxiety. So with Rhodiola Rosea, specifically for me, I noticed that anxiety, but more like in a social context. But even then, I mean, it's barely even noticeable. So I would say for most individuals, you shouldn't be too concerned about it. But the good news is that if you are to get anxious from the supplement, you'll feel it instantly. It's not like it's going to make you anxious for the several days following ingestion. So that's the harsh reality of nootropic supplements. Most of the supplements out there that will improve focus and improve productivity will as well bring a little bit of anxiety with them. So you just have to decide if it's worth it for you at the end. And for this reason, you may want to consider starting off with a very small dosage. Of course, use it at a time where you don't have an important social function coming up there afterwards. We'll talk more about the different dosages later on in this video. The second side effect to be aware of is dizziness as well as lightheadedness. It happens with the odd individual. Again, it's not super common. I personally don't feel the dizziness, but one of the reasons why it may happen is because Rhodiola Rosea is one of the many supplements that can lead to lower blood pressure. And so for the individuals that already have lower blood pressure levels and they feel some of the symptoms of those, of course, be especially cautious when you're using Rhodiola Rosea. The third side effect to be aware of with Rhodiola Rosea would be insomnia as well as sleep problems, and I can understand why this may be the case. I personally wouldn't use Rhodiola Rosea after 6 o'clock p.m. Not that it's too stimulating, but it's maybe mildly or slightly stimulating, because following ingestion you suddenly feel like alert, you feel very present. So even if I were to take it later on at night, like 8 or 9 p.m., I shouldn't probably experience any sleep difficulties, but I would say you would want to consider using Rhodiola Rosea within 3 hours of sleeping, just to be safe, because if you are to ingest it close to bedtime, it's likely that you're going to be in bed just waiting to fall asleep. And the fourth side effect to be aware of is a potential crash or perhaps fatigue there afterwards. Some individuals notice that once they use Rhodiola Rosea, several hours afterwards they feel more fatigued than they would have been had they not used Rhodiola Rosea. And I find this absolutely crazy because I don't experience that side effect either. Like for me, I'm pretty side effect free, but these are the ones, of course, you should be aware of. And I've browsed through a number of comments on my YouTube channel, and it seems like maybe 70% of the users would notice Rhodiola Rosea working, and the other 30% maybe don't feel anything from it. And of course, there's going to be that small population, like maybe 10% of people or less, that do experience some of the side effects. But I must admit, I'm very sensitive to nootropics. That's probably one of the reasons why I noticed Rhodiola Rosea working so strong. But I have found that with nootropic supplements, it's like the stronger the effects are, the stronger the side effects. Unfortunately, I feel minimal, if any, side effects. One of the ways in which I don't like using Rhodiola Rosea would be using it pre-workout. I've found that it is in some pre-workout supplements for some reason because it can help fight off fatigue. However, if you're going to work out first thing in the morning like I do, there's really no need to take any supplement that's going to help you to have a clear mind. You should likely already have a clear mind. I'd rather use Rhodiola Rosea later on in the day when I feel a bit of fatigue, because I don't find that Rhodiola Rosea, say first thing in the morning, will make me any sharper, will make me perform better at tasks. It's more so just something just to clear my mind and help me execute as I go about the day and get more tired. However, there is some light research showing that Rhodiola Rosea may be effective with your workouts. As per the study here, they mentioned that professional athletes are using Rhodiola Rosea to assist in rapid muscle recovery, and what happened was it showed that it increased their physical work capacity and dramatically shortened the recovery time between bouts of high intensity exercise. And I browsed a number of studies looking for side effects, looking for any reasons why individuals had perhaps left studies because of the negative effects that Rhodiola Rosea was giving them. And I stumbled across this paper here which took a collection of different Rhodiola Rosea studies, and they were only able to identify a handful of individuals that experienced some of the side effects or had perhaps left the study. One instance was due to a headache, and another instance happened because they were experiencing like excessive saliva in their mouth, which again is a minor and very infrequent side effect that's experienced. However, if you are one of the odd individuals that does experience side effects with Rhodiola Rosea, there's a couple things that you may want to consider doing. The first would be to change the type of Rhodiola Rosea that you're using, and I don't necessarily mean the brand. My favorite is the Rhodiola Rosea from Nootropics Depot, but I've used other brands of Rhodiola Rosea. They all pretty much feel the same to me, and I haven't found that the brand makes too much of a difference, but something that does make a difference is the type of Rhodiola Rosea that you are consuming. And there are two main types of Rhodiola Rosea. There are the rosavin rich extracts, and these are more calming. They're also better for stress and for mood. And there are the salidroside rich extracts, and these are more stimulating, better for energy and better for focus. And it's interesting because some individuals actually experience side effects with one of the types but not the other, so you may want to try and test them both out, see how you respond to them. And the other thing you can consider doing is to adjust your dosage protocol. Try different things. I for one take Rhodiola Rosea in a unique way because I'll use it once in the early afternoon and then again at a point in the later afternoon when I'm feeling fatigued again. So I'll typically take 500 milligrams around 2 o'clock p.m. and then 500 milligrams again at 6 o'clock p.m. That works for me, but I'm an experienced user. I know a lot of individuals that use Rhodiola Rosea just once a day at 500 milligrams first thing in the morning. That works for them. I personally don't feel like in the best mood when I use Rhodiola Rosea in the morning, and you also want to consider the fact that it can make a difference if you're taking it in a fasted state or in a fed state. I personally use Rhodiola Rosea in a fasted state most of the time, but if you're in a fed state or if you're to use Rhodiola Rosea along with your meal, you may notice different benefits and different side effects than using it without. I would love to know your thoughts about Rhodiola Rosea in the comment section below. Do click subscribe if you want to be updated with more videos like this one, and if you'd like to chat with me one-on-one, you can consider messaging me on Patreon. Of course, make sure to visit our Discord server as we have a very active chat room, and I thank you for your support and look forward to seeing you next time.